Do you see anyone else doing this? I really ask you. Do you see CNN doing this other than on an anniversary and just repeating what the state tells them? Support us if you can. StatusCoup.com/donate. You were kind of a young mother when this all happened. You have a daughter and 2 sons. Now you're a grandmother. And tell me just your experience, because from what we're talking about, your family's basically been forever damaged, and you're just trying to deal with it. Let's start with your daughter, who now is a mother of her own.
Yeah, so my daughter, her name is Deanna. She just turned 24, and she just had a baby, and she just turned 1 in November, and she's pregnant now, and we're going to be having another little baby girl coming. And so
what's your granddaughter's birthday in November?
November 30th.
Okay. My daughter's November 11th. So, last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she turned 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So they're just a couple weeks apart.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. So, anyways, she I don't know how old she was. 14? I guess 10 years ago she would have been 14. And but even before that, like the water, I believe, has been bad before the switch. There were things in the water, but after the switch, it definitely exacerbated everything that could have been wrong. And whenever she takes a shower, she breaks out in hives from head to foot, welts. I mean, and not just like little polka dots, but I mean like patches of raised welts. And that's what she still goes through whenever she takes a shower. She's a little older now and not as scared of it, but she used to get scared and cry because she would just like, it'd be like an allergic reaction, like, you know, and she would be itching and just, she didn't understand it. But
so to be clear, we're not talking about 5 years ago, 10 years ago. This is still happening today for her.
Yeah.
Where she's covered in rashes.
Yeah. Yeah. This is every shower.
And
I mean, literally every shower.
Have dermatologists suggested what it is?
So I did take her to the dermatologist twice, and they both said, well, that she was allergic to hot water.
Was she allergic to hot water before Flint switched this water?
No. She never had a problem when she was a baby like that, you know. It didn't really start until maybe a year or two before the water switch, but I'm going to say it, like, she would maybe have like just some little dots. The welts and the major hives, those started coming definitely after the water switch. Mm-hmm. And during that first year and a half or whatever, they were really bad, and I didn't even know what to do, you know what I'm saying? And we ended up having to give her some Benadryl. And then so Benadryl, you know, people don't want to give their kids medicine every day, but we have to give her Benadryl every day.
And you also didn't know at the time because the state and the city were covering the whole thing up.
Right.
So you didn't know definitely that it was the water and what was in the water.
Right. All I know is that we cut our water on one day, and it looked like there was poop in the water. So I've got it in a bottle, in an empty water bottle, and I'm looking at it, and I'm running up and down the street showing all my neighbors, like, is your guys' water like this? Did you see this? Can you see this? You know, what is this? And that's what I remember, like, first finding out. And our water stayed yucky like that for a while. And that's when we lived here the whole time since then. Like, I've lived here since 2013. And then, but before that, we lived across the street for 7 years. And so we've stayed on these pipes for however long that is.
And she's now in her mid-20s. She's still having, is the rashes and the hives she gets, is she still itching from these?
Yep, they itch. I mean, they're probably not as bad as they were a few years ago. But still, with every shower, she's got some on her. I mean...
Well, even without contaminated water, some people's skin is just more sensitive. So then if you're adding lead, bacteria, PFAS, all the other stuff,
yeah,
we're finding out years later about corporations that were dumping God knows what.
Yeah.
So it could really basically just destroy your skin and cause all this.
I think, what is it, DuPont? Whatever chemical...
Dow Chemical, yeah.
Yeah, whatever chemical they were dealing with. They say there's not a person in this United States that doesn't have a trace of it in their system.
So you have the main pipes have not been replaced, and they're bursting all over the town.
Oh, yeah.
And when I hear people who aren't from Flint, they just say, well, Flint's water's been safe for 5 years. Whenever the EPA declared it, I say, well, why don't you come here? Why don't you drink it? And why don't you talk to residents? Because I drank it years ago, and it tasted like I was being punched in the face. I wouldn't let my daughter drink it. I wouldn't let my worst enemy drink it. Even with a filter, I'm not so sure that's safe, because common sense, if you haven't replaced all the infrastructure, how could the water be safe? And you're not the only one I've heard. Rashes, people talk about their eyes still burn when they shower. People still have hair falling out.
Oh, there's hair all over the house.
You're still having that?
Oh, I lose hair so much. I mean, it's hair in my refrigerator right now. I can guarantee you. It's everywhere. Everywhere. I used to have a lot of hair, and I know I got my hair up, but and it might look like I have a lot of hair, but really, my hair is like, I could put it in a ponytail. It's like this thin. It's very, very thin hair. And like, I know I'm only 45. I just thought I'd have a lot more hair, thicker like it used to be, but like, all my hair is laying around.
We talked about your daughter. You have 2 other sons.
Yes.
And you have been dealing with, I mean, just hearing from you, I mean, no parent will want to go through what you've been going through. I guess we could talk about your son that still lives here. He was, when the water switch happened, about
14, 15.
About 14 or 15 when the water switch happened?
Oh, was it? Yeah. Well, I think he was a little younger.
Okay.
They didn't declare it.
How old is he now?
25.
So he was 15 in 2014 when they switched the water.
Yeah.
So tell me, before that, he was...
Oh, he was an outgoing kid. He had lots of friends. All the girls liked him. He didn't show any issues like that, But almost like right in time with the water switch, within them couple of years, he's gone into a depression. And he's 25, and he's still in this depression, deeper than ever. He's anorexic, agoraphobic. He suffers from OCD. And a lot of it, of the OCD kind of thing started with the water, because he's scared to drink the water, because we're all like, I don't drink the water, I'm going to kill you. All this kind of thing, that kind of gave him a fear of the water, and not just the water, but everything else on earth. Can't get him to take medicine. He's scared to take medicine. He's scared to eat different kinds of foods. That's why he's now anorexic, weighs 100 pounds, 5'8", 25 years old. He's
25 and weighs 100 pounds?
Yes. When I say anorexic, that's what I mean. And there's no programs here for it. Only for kids. And right when he was, I think they had one that was going to, that went up to like 23 years old, but they wouldn't accept him because he was already 22, going to be 23, so they wouldn't accept him into the program. So, now he's about to be 26 this year. And still, there's no programs out here. Can't get Social Security for him. They swear there's nothing wrong with him. But I can't get him to come out of the house. I can't get him to barely come out of the room or to talk to anyone. And, he is also suicidal. He's ideation.
Yeah, suicidal ideations.
Yes. Yeah. And when you have a conversation, it comes up.
And why that is so messed up is, he was we all got stuff, but before the water switch, he was a normal kid.
Yeah.
And with lead and heavy metals, and we're finding out other stuff was in the water that you didn't know about, it takes time for the damage, and the damage gets worse. I mean, I've met people that in 2016 I could have a decent conversation with them, and then as I keep coming back, cognitively they decline. It's not their fault, and it's harder to have an interview or a conversation because their attention span is gone, or cognitively they're just delayed, or whatever it is. So for him, it seems to have gotten worse as the years have gone by, to the point agoraphobia, he's afraid to go outside.
Mm-hmm. And they also said that he's got something about a personality disorder. It's like he's not himself, almost. Not like where he has multiple personalities, not that. It's I don't know what it is, honestly. But, I mean, he says things like he feels like his hands are going to fall off. Like, literally fall off. Like, that doesn't happen. But he thinks that they will. So, but I just always say, I was a young parent, and I just didn't know the questions to ask. And it's still, like, questions I don't know to ask. I still don't know how to get help from the doctors about getting help for my grown children now.
Yeah.
Or myself.
Yeah.
I don't know how to go about it, I mean, I ask, and like I said, when I took my daughter to the allergist, they laughed at me. I mean, he literally smiled and giggled and was like, she's allergic to hot water. I'm like, I've never heard of this. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Here we are, we're in Flint. You know about the water crisis. And you're trying to tell me that my daughter is allergic to water? What is that? And okay, even if she is, that doesn't mean that even if that is a thing, that doesn't mean that the lead and everything wouldn't be affecting her still on top of that.
Right.
Hello. Like, what? I've never saw another kid break out when they took showers in water. I've never saw that. You're on your own, and it really does feel like hell on earth here. It feels like it. It looks like it. You get treated like it.
We just drove through neighborhoods. I mean, I've been here. This is my 20th time here, and I've driven through neighborhoods, and it looks like some third world countries are a little nicer than some of the neighborhoods here. It's just emptiness, vacant lots, burnt down homes.
And it is a hard housing crisis. I can't even move. Like, I want to move from this house so bad, right? Like, there's all kinds of things going on with this house, even though I'm in a circle, so we're kind of tucked off. But all around us isn't, and we hear all the gunshots. And I'm not saying that there ain't gunshots that's happened on these 3 streets right here that are part of the circle. But, it's terrible. I forgot what I was about to say, but it's just terrible. I just know it's terrible. I want to get out of this house, but I can't move because the houses that are for rent, you got all these people coming in and buying up a ton of houses and then fixing them up and then renting them out for like $1,400. Who can freaking afford that? And then they put in that you have to make 3 times that rent. So you have to have dang near $4,000-$5,000 to move.
Well, a lot of the money that was supposed to go to you, the residents, have ended up going to real estate developers.
Who are here basically putting us out of our homes that we had here to live in, move out and other people move in. Because now you have houses that are abandoned, tore up, you can't move into them. Or now you get a choice of a great apartment. Probably, I don't know how much they're charging for renting these apartments, but it's supposed to be income-friendly apartments. But probably only half of them, or a certain set amount, are, a subsidy, and the other ones are, like, regular amount. And I haven't looked into an apartment because I don't want to live in an apartment. I want to live in a house with a yard. You know what I'm saying? Not into a project. our projects around here have not ever turned out great. You know what I'm saying? We still got 2, 3 of them that are still operational, and no one wants to go into those areas. And the people who do live in the areas have no choice but to live in the areas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you know, not to air all my business out, but I am on Section 8, and I can't move. I cannot move from here. Because if I move from here, it will be a downgrade.
Well, a lot of people who don't really get it have said, well, if it's so bad in Flint, why don't you move? And I don't think they realize, are you going to buy these people's house that has damaged infrastructure? The pipes are corroded.
Right.
Your house value has gone down because of the Flint water crisis.
And that's the homeowners, the few that there are.
Yeah.
All the rest of the people are here renting, probably barely getting by.
Yeah.
And also can't move because there's nowhere to move except for these new apartments that they keep building. And they're tearing down the houses and they won't let you rebuild. I'm going to lose my house. I'm not going to have power. I'm not going to have poison water running through my pipes. Because it's all going to get shut off because I have to support my son because I can't get them to help me out help him make himself sufficient enough so he can live on his own, or so that I'm not having to support him on my own for the rest of his life. I just feel, you know, it ain't just me, but I mean, it's my whole family, but it ain't just me and my family, it's all of us here in Flint. We just get shit on every day, constantly. And then our mayor is insistent that the water is safe, and if you talk about how it ain't safe, then, you know, you get called a farce. It's just insane.
And your Governor Whitmer ran on, I'm going to reopen the water stations and justice.
What has she done? What has she done for Flint? What? You barely fixed the roads.
Has she fixed the water?
No. The water is not fixed. And if anybody doesn't believe that, they can surely come here and drink my water.
What about the Attorney General, Dana Nessel?
She can have some too.
Because she came into office and basically just stomped on the ongoing criminal investigation and started from scratch, and we saw what happened. The state Supreme Court threw out all her charges.
Well, I feel like her and Neely decided they wasn't really going to do anything about none of all this. And it might not have just been her and Neely. There's probably a whole bunch of people who don't want anybody to see any charges from this. They want to just forget about it and just move on. They got Flint fatigue. They've had Flint fatigue. You know, they want to move on. They want what are they always saying? Let's move Flint forward. And they're just trampling over us, leaving us here to die.
Do you feel like people are just slowly dying here?
They are slowly dying. They are slowly dying. Because, I mean, once you can't come back from dying, and you can't come back from being lead poisoned and damaged like that. You can't come back from that. I mean, you can maybe cope, but you can't come back to where you originally were. And you're a damaged person after this, and you know, people don't want to be damaged. So I'm just saying, get and learn about your water. Don't think for 1 second that your governments are going to be truthful to you, because when there's a crisis, you're the last one to know. And if you find out. And so I just would hate anyone else to feel like we do here. It's terrible. It's a horrible way to live, and it's horrible things that we've had to deal with as an outcome of this, you know. And next to losing someone through death, losing someone to the prison system for life, you know, I mean, it's terrible. So, just keep paying attention to Jordan, because I'm sure he'll be back. And we have our commemoration coming on April 25th this year, and we hope to see Jordan back.
I'll be.
And thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And thanks a million.